First with breaking news. First with new information. Plus, your first alert forecast. 19 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Well, that's something else. A home leveled in just a matter of seconds. That explosion rocking a Canton neighborhood early this morning. Security cameras capturing that ball of flames shooting so high into the sky. Thanks for joining us on 19 First at 4. I'm Brian Duffy.
And I'm Nicole Versansky. The blast was so strong, fire officials say it blew one person from the home out onto the street. 2
people were seriously hurt, but how did all this happen?
Our Harry Boomer joining us now live at the scene. He's been working to get that answer all afternoon. Harry.
Well, guys, as to what caused it, that is still under investigation. Don't know exactly right now how it started, but it has all the earmarkings of a gas explosion. Crews are working now, busy getting rid of the debris left in the aftermath of this morning explosion and fire. The calm of this community was rocked by a massive explosion this morning around 8:20. It leveled this house at 1617 Bonnot Place in Northeast Canton. It was destroyed by the initial blast. Equipment is tearing down the house next door that was damaged beyond repair. Tamar Shearer heard the massive blast and came outside to see what was going on.
By the time the paramedics came, the other houses really started rapidly catching fire. So at the time it was like a small fire, then it just blew up into something big.
That's the moment that explosion destroyed a house next door this morning. It was so massive and so violent, it sent 2 people that were inside the house flying out of the home. One was found blocks away. They were both rushed to the hospital with severe burns.
It was crazy. It knocked one of my windows in and knocked my air conditioner out, knocked stuff off the walls and stuff. It's just weird how it went around and knocked my neighbor's windows out of his house.
I've been on the job 28 years. This is my 3rd house explosion. This has been the worst I've seen.
This is Stephen Henderson, Division Chief of the Canton Fire Department.
It's pretty extensive.
It is very extensive. We've got the original house that exploded. The house next to it is severely damaged. It will be torn down, and the one next to that is actually moved off of its foundation. It will be torn down as well. And we've got several other structures with severe damage.
This is amazing. Not only did the explosion destroy one house, the house next door to it had to be torn down, and the house next door to it also just torn down by these work crews out here. See all this debris, all because of that early morning explosion. As to what caused it, we don't know. Also, we don't know why those 2 men were inside the house. Folks said it was abandoned, so who knows? But the bottom line is they're alive, and lots of cleanup yet to do. In Canton, Harry Boomer, 19 News.
All right, we've been following this all afternoon. Breaking news out of Akron. A massive fire at a recycling plant continues to burn, filling the air with that thick black smoke. These are live pictures now. It's happening at the Halub recycling facility on Arlington Street.
Yeah, you can see all that smoke billowing into the air. It's prompting a shelter in place for people living northeast of that plant. So that means you should stay inside, close your windows and doors so that smoke does not get in. Brian, we've been watching this burn. This smoke really hasn't dissipated over the last several hours.
No, it hasn't slowed down one bit, for sure. No traffic issues in the area at this hour, but with fire crews on scene, lots of them, it's best to avoid that area in Akron there if possible.
Now to a man who was out celebrating his birthday when he was killed. It's a senseless shooting that has a tiny community stunned and a family grieving.
Man accused of pulling the trigger in front of a judge today. First at 4, Keith Grant was in the courtroom now with new information on the murder at Put-in-Bay.
Open the door, rear passenger door.
You're watching the end of a 4-hour-long manhunt in Put-in-Bay. Police finding Colton Smith, the Michigan man accused of murder.
Open the door. and slide out.
Officers found him hiding in his pickup truck. Police say he shot and killed Rob Russell on July 23rd inside Mr. Ed's bar.
To the ground.
Russell was at Put-in-Bay celebrating his 40th birthday. People who saw the shooting say it came out of nowhere, saying that Smith simply walked out of the bar like nothing happened. Police and prosecutors not giving a motive behind the shooting. On Wednesday, Smith told a judge that he's homeless and pleaded not guilty to his 7 charges, which include murder.
And by his own admission, is homeless and has no contacts with Ottawa County or the state of Ohio. The address he previously provided was a Michigan address, but did indicate that he was homeless.
A judge gave Smith a $1.6 million bond.
Obviously serious charges.
Now, if Smith makes bond, the judge required he have a stable address. Smith's attorney struggled to find family willing to take him in if he does make bond.
They have had some contact with family members, and I'm not sure that they would necessarily accept him into their home at this point.
Smith's next day in court is set for September, and the judge set the jury trial for October, almost 3 months after the shooting shook this island community. Keith Grant, 19 News.
Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner has identified the man found dead at a Cleveland car dealership on Wednesday. His name is Alan Parrish. This was the scene yesterday morning at R&D Motors. That's on Miles. Investigators did not say how Parrish died, only that they're treating it as a homicide. If you have any information on the case, give CPD a call.
A family meal turns tragic at a shopping center in Beechwood. Now the woman accused of driving into an outdoor dining area, killing a 3-year-old girl, will be going to trial. Jasmine McFadden faces vehicular homicide charges. Police say last month she jumped a curb, crashed into the outdoor tables at City Barbecue. A passenger in the car, former Cleveland State basketball star Kenneth McFadden, is also charged. They are fugitives on our streets when they need to be in front of a judge.
They are Cuyahoga's most wanted. Dan DeRose back now with the second of our 3 weekly fugitives.
We've seen all kinds of weapons for our alleged suspects here, our fugitives. I think we've had this weapon maybe once before in the 5-6 years that we've done this program. Don't believe it was in the hands of a woman. Let's get to the case of Stephanie Hunt.
In July of 2025, Miss Hunt attacked the victim with, as you said, what was described as a hatchet. And court documents state that she actually struck the victim multiple times, causing serious injuries to their body, if you can imagine being attacked by a hatchet. She failed to appear for trial, and a warrant was issued for her arrest.
Detective, we do this. We keep this program up because we clean up our streets. We help our community get safe. We do it because it gets victims justice. We also do it because our viewers can earn up to a $5,000 reward. And what do you like to remind people?
That crime doesn't pay, but Crime Stoppers does.
So think about that when we're talking about getting a victim some justice. This means the alleged victim in this case has never seen Stephanie Hunt in court, attacked with a hatchet, but yet she gets to stay on our streets. 216-252-7463 is the anonymous number. Takes you right to Crime Stoppers of Cuyahoga County. And to Stephanie Hunt, I'll remind you, we have a 78% capture rate, whether directly or indirectly of being featured on Cuyahoga's Most Wanted. 78% of the fugitives we have featured have been turned in. You may want to do the right thing.
The breaking news first at 4 and streaming live on 19 News Plus. The 10-year-old girl rescued from drowning at Edgewater Beach has died. Her name is Ayanna McGee.
We know she was at Edgewater on Tuesday night when she went under. It was very rough on the lake at that point. Crews managed to pull her out of the lake, and they immediately started CPR and rushed her to Metro, where she remained unconscious and in critical condition until passing away. 2 other people were rescued from the lake as well. We are told they are okay.
All right, live pictures once again from Akron. What you're seeing, that smoke coming from a fire at a scrapyard. You can see the smoke for miles. The shelter-in-place order, though, is now lifted. However, Akron Fire saying still a good idea to limit your time outside if you are northeast of this location. That's the direction the wind is blowing that smoke. Now, Akron Fire also saying that the source of the fire is trash and other rubbish at this facility. This is the Holub Recycling on North Arlington Street. We're going to continue to keep our eye on this breaking situation, and we will keep you updated. All right, now on the Browns beat, the Browns back on the practice field today, continuing training camp, and the quarterback battle is in full swing.
It always is, right? And there was one person in attendance that gave one of the quarterbacks a little extra motivation. Ashley Holder is in Berea now with more.
The Browns had a pretty cool visitor today at training camp. Coach Prime was in the building, and it was a perfect timing. Deion Sanders was here in attendance as his son Shedeur ran with the ones today. Now, head coach Todd Monken said that he met with Deion Sanders and talked about a plethora of things, from what makes him tick and how to get the best out of his son.
There was some back and forth as to being around Shedeur in terms of how he processes personality-wise, and I think, competitive-wise. He got into it at the end, in terms of what makes him tick that he's been around, which was good. It was all good. But we've seen that. Most of what he said, we've been able to see. Now, we haven't gotten to games yet. That's a lot different animal, but at this point, what he talked about, I would have said, no, that's how I've seen it.
Monken said it wasn't just a football conversation. The two also talked father to father. And while he's here as Shedeur's dad, it's still Deion Sanders, a two-time Super Bowl champion, Hall of Famer, and 8-time Pro Bowler. So when Prime has advice to share, people listen.
That was really cool. I mean, that was a Deion Sanders. You kidding me? Forget that it's Shedeur's dad. I mean, first of all, he did an unbelievable job with Shedeur. Great kid. And obviously an elite football player. Hell baseball player, and then as a coach, I mean, wow, everything that he's achieved, that was awesome.
He's one of the best to ever do it. As a Florida State guy, I've always watched him. I always idolized him. Watching, going around the facility, you see his picture on every other wall. Like, it's crazy. But I'm just ready to, talk to him, get to dissect his brain a little bit about the game. Obviously, we play different positions, but you can still take a lot away from him.
Monken said it wasn't all about Deion getting a meeting with him because he's Shedeur's dad. He said, listen, anyone can come into his office and have a conversation with him within reason. We're now in Berea. Ashley Holder, 19 News.
All right, so now that training camp is underway, it is a good idea, if you have not already, to jump onto our Browns podcast, Off the Leash. New episodes drop every Tuesday, but you can listen anytime. Look for it on 19 News Plus. Well, how about this? The first women's professional baseball league in nearly 30 years is about to throw the first pitch. It's coming up this weekend.
Wow, Rockford Peaches, that's what it reminds me of, right? There are 4 teams: New York Heights, San Francisco Fireballs, Los Angeles Queens, and the Boston Hunters. The All-American Girls Professional Baseball League, made famous by a movie, A League of Their Own, shut down more than 70 years ago, and there's been attempts ever since to give women ball players a chance to shine.
See great play, right? These are elite athletes, and they're hitting the ball hard and they're throwing fast, and just create that kind of energy that we know that our players have a lot of passion, and I know our fans are gonna feel it.
Being able to look to my right and to my left and be able to see myself in them is a dream come true, and to be able to be ourselves out there.
All the games this season will be played in Springfield, Illinois, and they are available to stream online.
This is a 19 First Alert breaking traffic alert.
All right, an update to that crash on I-77 northbound. The left lane is blocked, basically just past Fleet Avenue, but we are crawling right now, pretty much past Harvard Avenue at this point, only going 1 mile an hour. You can see the backup here on the ODOT cameras. This is a mess right here. Giving you a detour right now. If you're coming up from the southern suburbs here, that's Brecksville, Broadview Heights, places like that, better to take 480 westbound to the Jennings Freeway. That will get you to the Interbelt and eventually get you downtown if you need to go that way. Another crash also on I-90 eastbound in Lake County that we will need to tell you about here in just a second. But a drive that's taking you about 10-15 minutes typically from 480 to downtown on I-77, now taking you 41 minutes. So again, we are slowed to a crawl over there. We're also slow southbound as we're seeing slow traffic basically from 490 all the way to this accident here. So again, the Jennings Freeway going to be a better option for many people. Here's that crash on I-90 eastbound. This This was corrected from ODOT. They originally said westbound. It is on I-90 eastbound. We are moving very slowly, basically from Route 615 all the way to Route 44 here, as there is an accident on the basically the area near the rest stop on I-90 eastbound. So expect delays over in that general area as well. We'll get you a closer look at those drive times coming up in a bit.
Okay, Nicholas, good information there. Taking a look at our top 4 stories at 4. The father of a school shooter in Georgia sentenced to 15 years in prison. Colin Gray is the first parent prosecuted for a mass school shooting in that state. Prosecutors say Colin gave his son Colton an assault rifle for Christmas, even though the teen had threatened gun violence just days before. Colt was sentenced to life without parole. He killed 2 students, 2 teachers, and injured several others.
President Trump's pick for Attorney General Todd Blanche is on hold. The Senate Judiciary Committee has postponed a vote originally scheduled for today after a couple of key Republicans said they may block his confirmation. They've battled with the administration over its controversial anti-weaponization fund and a tax agreement protecting the Trump family.
Blocked her from prosecuting.
Pope Leo XIV is reflecting on his family's American history and its ties to the transatlantic slave trade. He says his ancestors were immigrants, and they included both enslaved people and slave owners. Now, earlier this year, Pope Leo made history by becoming the first pontiff to publicly acknowledge and apologize for the historical papacy's moral role in slavery.
Prosecutors in Arizona will not file charges against the parents of a toddler who nearly drowned and was later found alive in a hospital morgue. The 18-month-old boy was found face down in a pool during a Super Bowl party back in February. He was declared dead. 5 hours later, staff found he was still breathing. The boy is out of the hospital now, but the family's attorney says he will need lifelong medical care. Like the parents, the doctor who made the mistake will not face criminal charges. Unbelievable. Can you imagine if that was your neighborhood? We are staying with this breaking news out of Canton. A home leveled in a matter of seconds. This is security cameras capturing that ball of flames just shooting into the sky as that home exploded. 2 people are now being treated for serious burns, but the scope of the damages is far bigger than that one house.
Neighbors are now reliving what was an incredible morning, really disturbing morning for them. Vic Gideon has that part of the story.
A big boom, and then me and all my kids were covered in glass. Every window in the house was busted, shattered. Come out, the neighbor's house was on fire. The guy was in the middle of the street screaming, "I'm sorry, it's my fault. I did this. Please help me."
Nicole Cole emotional, moving everything she owns out of her home 2 houses away from the explosion, looking at her house for the last time. What have you lost?
Everything. Upset. My whole life, I'm a single mom. Everything I've worked for is in that house.
The boom and damage felt for blocks.
The windows were blown in on the second half. They're all blown in. So there's one window that's cracked, but all the other ones are just falling in.
My tenants called me and they said, "Hey, the house next door blew up," and I thought, I don't know how true that is, but sure enough, they weren't exaggerating in any way.
Debris around the neighborhood, windows of houses blown in and blown out, and this garage damaged so badly it won't survive.
This property, the garage is condemned. They're going to tear it down today. I'm waiting on the insurance company, helping the girls that live here get some stuff out of this garage before they tear it down today.
Cars damaged, electricity out, the Red Cross on hand to help those who are out of their home. For many, the damage is temporary.
Moving out what I can, because once they close it up, we're not going to be allowed to go back in.
For others, the damage life-changing. Vic Gideon, 19 News.
This is a 19 First Alert breaking traffic alert.
All right, a brand new crash to tell you about. This is I-90 westbound at Route 57 in Elyria. The left lane totally blocked. It looks like we have a car on its side here, and the eastbound lane's backed up all the way to pretty much Route 2 here as the ODOT camera is moved. You saw that fire truck a little bit earlier on blocking the left lane of the eastbound lanes. Remember, that's that construction zone where we do have the contraflow lane. So the left lane there where you swerve all the way over to the eastbound side of the freeway freeway, avoid that. Stay in the right lane. The left lane is totally blocked from this accident. Again, it looks like we do have a car on its side. There's the fire truck in the eastbound lanes blocking traffic here. Very slow traffic right now in Elyria. We are crawling at about 7 miles an hour. And again, backups on the eastbound lanes where we meet Route 2, all the way up to about Detroit Road on the westbound lanes as well. It's going to take you a lot of extra time to get through this zone. Still have a crash also I-77 northbound. It looks like things are moving just a little bit better, but again, left lane blocked just past Fleet Avenue right there. We're dealing with major delays if you're traveling northbound from I-480 into downtown. So again, best bet is to take the Jennings Freeway all the way up to downtown as opposed to dealing with the mess on I-77 right now. So 2 major accidents going on. Again, I-77 northbound at Fleet, 90 westbound at Route 57 in Elyria, and that is slowing us down big time. Again, this usually takes about 10-15 minutes. 77 northbound from 480 to downtown, now taking you 22 minutes. So again, we're moving just a little bit better over there. 90 westbound, I would imagine this is really going to tick up as we move forward down the line here, taking you 49 minutes. Typically takes about 15, 20, maybe even 25 minutes to get from downtown to Elyria. So again, expect delays in Lorain County on I-90 both directions, and of course I-77 north from 480 into downtown.
Nicholas, thank you. The largest cyclospora outbreak on record in the United States, and health officials say tracking it is really a lot tougher than just your typical food poisoning case.
Lee Waldman is talking with experts about why this parasite is so difficult to trace and what it means for the safety of the food that may be on your table.
Cyclospora is really unique. We have to remember that it is a single-celled protozoan parasite. It's not a bacterium. So Cyclospora is really different, basically, in terms of all biology from Salmonella or E. coli.
What makes Cyclospora so unique is part of what makes it so difficult for food safety experts like Dr. Kalmia Neal and Dr. Craig Hedberg to trace. Labs can test and grow bacterial pathogens, but with a parasite like Cyclospora, they're limited to whatever samples they have.
We just don't have the ability to say that this group of 5 Cyclospora cases are all related, and they're different from this group of 10 Cyclospora cases.
There's an ongoing investigation into a large multi-state outbreak centered in the Midwest. Unfortunately, bacteria or Cyclospora contamination can't be seen by the naked eye, so it takes an outbreak to identify a problem.
Unfortunately, the more cases that occur, sort of the better our ability to work through those systems and find some of those common threads.
While the current Cyclospora outbreak is making headlines, other pathogens in food like E. coli, Salmonella, and Listeria have led to outbreaks in the past. This shows why protocols in place to protect our global food supply are so critical, yet challenging.
Training is really critical when it comes to worker health and hygiene and making sure that people understand the why.
In New York, I'm Lee Waldman.
Major recall now for more than 120,000 retro refrigerators following reports of fires and 1 death. These were sold on Amazon and at Home Depot. The brand is called Galans Americas. They have caused at least 30 fires, including one that took someone's life. Now, the issue is an abnormal electrical connection that can cause the refrigerators to catch on fire. If you have one, unplug it right now and reach out to the company for a free repair.
Some popular pool toys are also under a recall. More than 400,000 of these Sloosh dive sticks are being pulled from shelves. The U.S. Product Safety Commission says they can poke kids' eyes out if they dive in to retrieve them. So if you want to get your toys replaced, you throw them out, but take a picture of them when you do, because the company wants proof you have disposed of them.